Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And if you're just joining us, I have asked for everyone that is partaking in this event to bring forward their dream life. I even recommend sitting and journaling with it. Today is a very powerful day for manifestation, and I will get into that. But first, we are going to specifically call in the angels that oversee the Lionsgate portal. And we are just going to call in all of your angels that love you unconditionally, the angels of abundance, the angels of prosperity and wealth, your guardian angels, all your loved ones in heaven. Just praying so much love, so much joy into the space. And I really do pray miracles over whoever touches upon this video, whoever comes across this video. I just pray, God, that they receive a miracle today. Whenever they're watching, I just pray that miracles enter into their life, breakthroughs occur, and that they really return to a state of unconditional love, inner peace, and joy, knowing that anything and everything is possible for them. So I just pray, let them be filled with peace, lead with love, and build with creativity and joy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Okay, so what today is today is a very special day. It's known as the Lionsgate portal. And the Lionsgate portal occurs on August 8th. It actually starts, I believe, around July 21st, and it'll end on August 12th. So it's a big period of time. And this period of time is essentially a opening to step into a life that you have always desired. It's really like a gate, an invitation that is being extended to you by the universe, and it happens every single year. Now, the potency of August 8th is that it is when the belt of Orion aligns perfectly with the Gaia pyramid. And so it creates this magnetic energy. 8 is the symbol of abundance. It's a symbol of prosperity. And when two or more are gathered, even with numbers, it really helps to amplify the energy that the day brings. So every day carries a certain energy. And just like we all carry energy. So today is one when the stars truly align over the pyramids, but 2, it's a 8. So it's an amplification of the energy of abundance, of the energy of wealth, prosperity. But I want to first talk about abundance and what that really looks like, because this is something that I have personally been looking at through a different lens, but it is just abundance in general. When we tune into the energy of abundance, oftentimes we come and think of monetary abundance, right? Like, God, increase my finances. Angels, help me bring more money in. And yes, while that is so beautiful and absolutely our divine birthright, abundance is so much more than that. There's so much depth to its energy. Because when we look at life, finances are just one area of life, but abundance can be an abundance of time. I don't know if you've ever said or heard the saying, but there's not that much time in the day. As I get older, time flies by. And time is actually a really precious resource. It's one of our resources that we can use really wisely or we can use poorly, because time is a reflection of our energy, pretty much. So It's a reflection of our energy, but also our intention. How are we choosing to show up every day? How are we choosing to make the most out of our moments, out of our day to day experiences, even when challenges arise? There's always an opportunity to extend gratitude, to find the silver lining, and to bring more life to time. I actually heard this saying, and it says, you can't bring more time to life, but you can bring more life to time. And I feel like that's where the element of abundance comes in, because when we can bring more life into the time that we have here on earth, what that does is it automatically slows us down, and it allows us to really become present with the world around us. When we become present in relation to our dreams, we can start to see the subtleties, the signs, and the messages that the universe, that the angels are sending us in regards to helping us manifest our dream life. Because ultimately, the angels want us to live in our divine birthright. The angels want us to remember how powerful, how worthy, how infinite we are. But it is us who forgets that we are one with our creator. So God wants us to live out our dream life. That is why we're here. And also the reason why we're here is because we sometimes need to learn how to let go and how to come back to ourselves. So speaking in terms of abundance, going back to the element of time, we can have an abundance of time. We can pray for all the time in the world. And when we realize that we have an abundance of time, what that does is it stops us from the hustle. And a lot of the time, the hustle is what blinds us from what is right in front of us. It blinds us from seeing that next aligned step, that next action that we take, because we're so focused on doing that we're not actually slowing down to be present, to just be. And ultimately, when we're being, when we're still, that's when the solution, the answer arises, because we're not so much up here anymore, but we're in here in our heart. So today also offers a new perspective in terms of abundance, and abundance of time, an abundance of energy. So same concept with time, is that an abundance of energy, feeling rejuvenated, waking up feeling inspired, feeling in awe with life. And I'm sure, just like me, there's been moments in your life when you wake up and you're like, dread. You were dreading the day. You were dreading the fact that you had to get up and go to work and sit at your desk. There's so much energy moving. So if you see me yawning, we're just clearing energy, really. So just bear with me there. But an abundance of energy in terms of waking up and doing something that you love, having the courage, an abundance of courage, having the courage to say no to things that don't fulfill you and say yes to things that do. It takes a lot of courage to rewrite your script. And a lot of the time, especially with manifestation, you'll do these scripting exercises, and you'll write about your dream life. But the thing is, you write about it and you write about it, and then when you start to write about it, that's actually when your external world starts to shift and things start to come up. You probably are getting triggered a little bit, because you're not meant to be in these small spaces anymore. You're meant to expand, to do something that actually fulfills your soul. But that is scary, especially to your ego, because it's something that you haven't done before. So an abundance of courage, having the courage to choose yourself when ultimately you've put yourself last and put so many other people first. And again, like, talking about it seems a lot easier said, but when the moment actually comes to stand up for yourself, to speak how, what has been on your heart, it can feel a little nerve-wracking, because you don't know what the response is going to be. But ultimately, we don't really have any control over how people respond, how life responds to us. All we can do is show up in our truth, in our light, in our love, and the world, the the material world essentially will show up in accordance with that. But there will obviously be some people that are triggered, and that's okay. Um, we aren't for everybody. But again, like, just I want to touch upon a few more components of abundance before we really start diving into the manifestation of our dream life, because we talked about an abundance of courage, an abundance of energy, waking up, doing what you love, breaking free from the rhythms of the patterns and routines that are keeping you stuck. Not only an abundance of wealth, but an abundance of time, an abundance of love, an abundance of creativity, of inspiration. Where do you think dreams come from? Dreams come from inspiration. They come from our divine source. So being able to have an abundance of ideas, an abundance of inspiration, where you just are truly falling in love with life. And I feel like that is what manifestation is ultimately leading us to, what abundance is trying to lead us to. Abundance is trying to lead us to the fact that we've actually never been deprived, that scarcity truly does not exist. It is a made up concept to keep us stuck, to keep us fragmented. Um, but when we can look around and see that we have all these resources of abundance all around us, an abundance of time, an abundance of miracles, miracles being the fact that we choose peace over fear, we choose love over fear, love over worry. We have an abundance of health. We have an abundance of beautiful relationships. When you start to look at abundance through that lens, you actually see that you are quite literally abundant, that you are so wealthy, you are dripping in royalty, and you are this precious gem. So that's my first invitation to you today, is to start looking at abundance more than just wealth. Because when we look at abundance, look at our life like a living altar, look at our life with all the beauty and the bounty that it brings, we can start to shift the belief that we were ever without, that we were ever living in lack, because ultimately we were always living in love. We were always living with more than enough, but we had to change our perspective to see it. So moving in, I know I touched upon, where dreams come from. So when it comes to manifesting, talking about the energy of a dream. So I'm sure you all have dreams. I have my own dreams. I actually have a sheet of paper right here that has like all my dreams listed on it. And they're more like desire statements at this point, because I'm like, this is happening. But I want to talk about the life cycle of a dream. And if you're watching this video and you comment, even after this video takes place, I've written a book. It's called The Essence of You. It's a journey back to yourself, a little self-help guide. And one of the chapters is all about the life cycle of a dream. So if you want that chapter, I'm more than happy to send it to you. But the life cycle of a dream, I want to dive into a little bit, because I feel like it does help with the manifestation process if we know the journey of a dream. Because when we tune in, we see that the dream started as this idea, this little ball of light. And this ball of light, this idea, was dropped down to you. It was brought to you for a reason, because it wants to be birthed through you. And your job is to say yes to the dream. Your job is to say yes to the dream, and in turn, you're actually saying yes to yourself. And ideas come in all the time, but there are some that really just stick on your heart. They're like these internal pings that you just know you're meant for more, and you know that you have this deeper purpose, but you don't quite necessarily understand how to go from point A to point B. But when you understand the journey of the dream and the journey of the dreamer, it helps to really put everything together, almost giving you a roadmap in place. So you're sitting with this idea. This idea could just be a small whisper at first, and you're still working your 9-to-5 job, like you're still doing things that you need to do to pay the bills. so interesting also to see like where the deep energy comes from, where the yawns come in, because that's a big thing that's being released collectively. But you're sitting there, and you keep going back to this dream. Like, you might write about it, you might, dream about, like, you literally might daydream about it, but it's always just kind of like right there. You're not ready to fully take action on it. And then something happens. Maybe you lose your job. Typically, it's a healing crisis. Healing crisis it's a major life event that causes you to look at things differently. It literally shakes you up. It's a tower moment that puts you on the direct path to bringing your dreams to life. So when this happens, this vision that was on the back burner now is coming to the forefront of your mind. And you're like, okay, I'm actually ready. I'm ready to bring this forward. Like, I'm ready to do the damn thing. But then you're like, I have no idea where to start. I don't really know what to do. And this is where divine guidance really comes into play. And I find that the angels can be extremely beneficial. They're beneficial in all facets of life, but especially when it comes to bringing your dream to reality, because essentially you're bringing this energy, this idea, this vision, and you're actually bringing it into the material world. You're creating something from the infinite and making it tangible, which is one of the coolest things ever. If you think about it, I truly believe that that's like a human superpower of ours. But when we decide to set on the path of becoming the dreamer and allowing for our dreams to be manifested through us, we also have to understand that our dreams have their own personality. Our dreams have their own energy. They are an extension of our soul. So ultimately, the more we come to know ourselves, the more we're going to know the energy of the dream. And the more we start to pour into ourselves, that is actually when the voice of the dream becomes louder. And we can work in co-creation, work in alignment with the dream. So one of the first steps in terms of manifesting and bringing your dream to life is, one, identifying the dream, like calling the dream out, being like, this is what I want to do with my life. Like, maybe you don't have the full picture, but you can say, like, I want to assist and inspire millions. Like, I want to assist and inspire millions to awaken to God, to awaken to themselves, to become who they've been created to be. And it can be as simple as that. Or your dream could be, I really want to be a writer. Like, I want to be a writer in this lifetime. And whatever it is that has been on your heart, allow yourself to fully feel it. Like, sit in that. And as you do, your dream, all it wants to do is be nurtured. Because if you think about it, your dream in that state of being is like a little baby. It needs that love. It needs that care, that attention and intention. So even if you don't have all the steps mapped out, that's fine. What the dream is asking of you is to just sit with it. Sit with it, get to know it. Be in its presence, be in its energy. And as you do that, you're going to find that you're actually being called to, like I said, pour more into yourself. So things that don't align with you, where you have been giving your energy but haven't been receiving, you're going to start pulling back. And it's not because you've all of a sudden become selfish. It's because you're no longer giving your energy away to things that don't fill you up. So as you start to pour to yourself, which is a natural side effect of nurturing the dream, you're going to start to understand yourself on a deeper level, understanding what your likes are, your dislikes are, your non-negotiables are, where you have weak boundaries, where you have strong boundaries. This is all really powerful information, because the more awareness you can bring to your habits, your rituals, your routines, how you be in this lifetime, how you be in this world, that is when you can see and feel what is in alignment and what is out of alignment. So Going back, the first stage, the first step to birthing your dream, to living your dream life, is you simply nurture it by nurturing yourself, pouring into yourself, making sure you're creating space to just be alone with who you are, to just allow yourself to dream, allow yourself the space to sit and be and create for no purpose other than the fact that you like it. If you like to paint, if you like to draw, just drawing because it lifts you up, not needing to share it with the world around you. And once that starts to take place, it's really like a snowball effect from there. So after we start to nurture ourselves and pour into ourselves, that is when the plans come. And that is when the step comes for you to take. So you're building really good routines now because you're honoring yourself. So your routines are shifting and realigning to match the energy of your soul, to match the energy of your dream. And you're becoming the version of you that already has the dream. Do you see what the angels are saying? Is that when you pour into yourself, you're letting the stuff that was too small for you, letting the stuff that was holding you back go. And you're redefining your routines and your rituals and how you show up based on the energy of the dream, based on the energy of your soul. So then comes part 2, which is developing a self-belief. And that self-belief is going and understanding that you're probably going to not be good at something new. And I get how that sounds, but it's so true because you just have to be in this energy of suckiness for a little while. Understanding, and a better way of looking at it is self-belief is built through consistency. It's built through devotion. It's built through the storms and the seasons of life, showing yourself that even if you don't get a lot of likes on something, even if you write something and no one responds, even if you do something and you don't get the turnout that you wanted, that you just continue to show up and do it anyway because it's what you love to do. Regardless of whether there's one person or 100 people in that room, you go and you show up in the same way you would. Regardless of the number. And that is what builds self-belief. It's never giving up on your dreams. You cannot fail if you never give up. And that is one of the biggest differentiators between people who live out their dream life and people who don't, is they give up on themselves right as they're about to strike gold. And something that the angels have told me, and that I tell people that I even work with, I'm like, never give up on yourself. Never give up on your dreams. Your dreams might shift over time, but self-belief is built through the challenge. It's built through the beginning phases when you're just starting to ride a bike and you need the training wheels and you take the training wheels off and you fall. Like the same thing when you're building a brand or trying to get your name out there. The first few videos that you film on social media, they're probably not going to be that great, but we're letting go of the perfectionism. We're letting go of this need to be perfect, and we're just putting it out there anyway because it's on our heart. And the more you show up, the more you practice, the better that you're going to get. And when I say practice, yeah, that could mean like showing up and articulating and carrying a message and conveying this energy of storytelling. But it's also practicing being you. And I get that sounds super weird, but we haven't really had a lot of practice with being ourselves because if you're anything like me, we spend a lot of our life trying to be somebody else. So we have to actually practice being ourselves, being weird, being our quirky, unique selves. And the more we practice being in the essence of our soul, being our quirky, weird selves, just truly letting our inner light shine through, the more comfortable we become. And the more comfortable we become, the more we believe in ourselves, but also the more we care, the less we care about what other people think. And that's one of the biggest things too, is judgment, doubt, imposter syndrome, like, who am I to do this? Who am I to show up? And of course, these are going to be like the anti-hero that shows up on the journey, because obviously the hero, you, needs a good story. So we have doubt, fear, imposter syndrome there as the anti-hero, ready to set you back. But ultimately, when you practice showing up in love every day, practice just showing up for you every day in self-belief, just fully committing to your dream regardless of the outcome, you're going to wake up one day. It's like doing the 75-day hard. You're going to wake up in 75 days and be like, I've changed my life. My life has completely changed within a few months because I never stopped believing in myself. Even if I didn't have all the answers, even if I didn't have all the steps, never once did I ever stop saying or thinking I could do it. And because of that undeniable faith, miracles happen. Doors open that you couldn't even see. And that's the thing, is we don't have to actually look for the doors. We look for ourselves. We return to ourselves. We return to self-belief. We return to that devotion every day. What does devotion actually look like to you? I want you to sit with that question. What does self-belief look like to you? What does pouring into yourself look like to you? I'm going to give you some examples of some things that I personally do that are devoted to me and my dreams. But I really invite you to sit with some of those questions. So devotion and self-belief look like, okay, let me see. So in terms of my dreams, sometimes it's just sitting in the energy, but I devote myself to my morning pages. I devote myself to actually sitting down and spending time with my dream. And I know that sounds silly, but even if I'm just like writing with my dream, and this is something that I'm actually practicing more because I have recently decided to go like all in on this one dream of mine, and I was holding back for a while. So I'm kind of like right there with you. But the angels have told me to like sit down and just be with the dream and journal with the dream and visualize with the dream and take the dream with you wherever you go and see through the lens of that dream, and really allow that dream into your space. So those are some of the things that I'm doing, and seeing also the framework in which the dream wants to come through. Because as we build self-belief, and I've also been sending, I send text messages to myself. So you might want to try that, looking in the mirror and looking yourself in the eyes and just saying, you are incredible. I believe in you. You can do anything. Like, you are climbing that mountain. It's okay to be bad at something new. Like, nurturing yourself through the process of those beginning phases, is probably one of the most powerful things that you can do for yourself, because it eliminates a lot of that doubt. Not saying that doubt will never be, because that's not true, but doubt and imposter syndrome won't necessarily have that deep of a hold on you if you have such strong conviction in yourself and your dreams and God, because ultimately who you are, who your soul is, who your dream is, like what your dream is, and God are all one and the same thing. We're all going back to our source. So you see, it's all connected at the end of the day. And so when we place God in the center of our life, whoever you call God, right? God makes all things good. And when we just believe in ourselves, when we believe in the creator within us, when we believe in our dreams, like I said, doors open that we never even expected, because all we were doing is just sitting in love with ourselves. And when we love ourselves entirely, that is when the manifestations start to pour in. So as we start to just dose ourselves, but they're saying anoint yourself with self-belief, and just honor where you are, honor what the dream is. And it could be this big dream, like to assist and serve millions. Like I said, I mean, hey, that's my dream. And yeah, it's a huge dream to travel the world, to speak on the word of God, to allow people to come together, to heal, to create, to connect. And you're probably like, you love the vision so much, but you're like, how in the world am I going to bring it down here to reality? What is the step that I need to take to start building it? So we started developing self-belief, which is one of the first steps, a very critical phase. Now, the second step is to write out a framework, because every dream needs an anchor. Now, think of it like a balloon. If your dream was a balloon, because it's up here in the etheric realm, right? Your dream is up here. How do you anchor it down? Well, you need a tie. You need a cord to tie it down to earth. So this is where the strategy comes in. All right, how am I actually going to build this vision? Whether you want to build a brand, a business for yourself, another source of income, like whatever it is, like if you want to be a writer, well, then here we go. Sitting down, developing a framework for writing, for this book that wants to be birthed through you. We need channels, just like we are a channel, like our body is a vessel that holds the energy, that allows the energy to come through. The same thing needs to be developed in our waking life. So we can find those things in our routines, in our rituals, in our daily structure. And those go with our habits and our actions. So when you're looking at bringing this dream into form, the angels recommend sitting down and looking at your routines, looking at your framework. So I want to share an example. I really want to start generating more revenue and spreading the energy of angels and helping people deepen their spiritual connections with the Angel Academy. So I need a framework, because what they are also saying to me is that all these little projects that you do, like workshop here, reading here, these are all balloons with no anchor. They said you need an anchor if you want to actually ground and grow. Otherwise, it's going to be fulfilling in a moment, but you're going to need that next quick hit to become more fulfilled. It's not actually sustainable, and you need roots in order to grow a really big tree. So the framework is the root. So what they're saying is sit down and develop a realistic framework of a strategy that you can adhere to on a month-to-month basis. So what that can look like is, one, what do I want to offer the world? What are my core offerings? Okay, we have the online academy, the membership, and then my Reiki group training, which I'm developing my Angel Reiki modality right now. And that's really exciting. So, and I'm training somebody in it. So those three offerings. And then, okay, well, how are people going to know about these offerings? All right, well, let's work backwards. So probably doing 1 to 2 free events a month, maybe 1 to start, not overwhelming. And then doing a few paid events here and there. So 1, to drive people to my Substack, which brings them into the community. And that's another free offering. They can join the membership there. And then within the membership, continuing to just drive the message that we have a house of personal transformation. And it's called the Angel Academy. And that is my digital course. So really leading with that. And sticking to that framework and seeing how the Angel Academy starts to build. Same thing with this other business that I've created, Modern Muse. So that's an event-based business, and it really helps women reconnect with themselves. So again, finding the framework there, like what are the core offerings? What can I do to bring further visibility to the world? And developing a structure, a month-to-month structure of how many bookings do I realistically want to have a month? And, what is my one free event that I can do to be seen in the world? Like, how can I how can I become more visible? So these are questions that the angels, that I invite you to sit with as well, because the angels were bringing these through for me. And that is really how you're going to develop a framework. Is you're going to take this idea that you have, this dream that has already been birthed, right? It's there. It exists in the ether. It exists in the quantum world. The framework is the map. The framework are the steps that you take to get to the top, right? And I just get the board game like Candyland. Like, it's the step you take to get to that. Like, it's not Gumdrop Mountain, but like the Peppermint Castle. So when you can work backwards and say realistically, like, when you want to become more visible too, or even if you're a writer and you want to write a book, okay, well, I need a framework. How many days a week am I going to devote myself to writing? Like, how many hours a day? Because in order for something to become tangible, you need to have strategy. You need to have roots. The earth, your routines, your actions, those are the roots to help you get whatever it is done. And I guess, not I guess, but fulfill the dream. So if you're building a business or a brand, the angels advise you specifically, like today, to really just look at some of your frameworks. Like, do you have a framework in place? Do you have a strategy in place for like the amount of like free workshops that you're doing a month to drive traction to your offering? Do you have a social presence? Like, do you, like, what avenue do you want to become more visible? And it all has to do with visibility, by the way. Like, we think that marketing is like this not foreign concept, but a concept that you have to go to school for. Marketing, in short, is just visibility. And it's being seen by yourself. It's allowing for the dream to be seen. So really what you're doing is allowing for the world to see your dream. And sticking to a strategy long enough to receive feedback from it. If we stick to a strategy for a month, that's not a long enough amount of time to really see any results. It's like, okay, well, if you stick to something for a month, that's great, but you need to keep going. It's, something in motion stays in motion. So we're building on that snowball effect. So my advice to you, if you want to bring this dream life, if you want to travel the world, okay, we'll work backwards from that point B, and then you'll find your point A. Traveling the world, getting paid to travel the world. All right, well, maybe starting to create travel content, partnering with travel agencies. Like, look at all these things that you can do that will help you get to where you want to be. And then the last thing is taking action, because we can sit here, we can daydream all we want. And, for a while, I really did believe that manifestation was just about daydreaming. But manifestation is not just about dreaming. We can be really, really good at dreaming. Like, I'm really good at dreaming, right? But it requires action. So we first have acknowledging this dream, really acknowledging the inner ping that you're meant for more, deciding to jump on the spiritual path. That's awareness right there. Then we have the development and curation of self-belief. Self-belief and daily conviction and daily devotion, just showing up and playing with your dream, letting your dream be nurtured by letting yourself be nurtured. And then we have the action after we develop the framework, which I guess coincides with action, right? Because the action step is really about how you're going to bring this thing into form. Because your dream life isn't just going to happen through visualization. The visualization gives you the map, and then you are asked to take the steps. So as we start to develop a framework, develop a strategy, write it down, we need to put it into practice. So my advice to you and the angels, what the angels have said, is that manifestation requires you to shift up the energy, and you shift up the energy through movement. So what can you do to start aligning with the framework that you've created? Well, you show up an intention and you just follow through. You take a step every single day towards your dreams. Whether, again, if you want to be a writer and write books, okay, well, showing up and actually sitting down and committing to writing for an hour or two a day, 4 days a week, and sticking to that strategy, sticking to that routine of yours. And even when doubt arises, even if we only get 3 likes on a video, c'est la vie. All right, you're going to continue to let yourself be seen, because if you think about it, the first few videos that you probably create are ones where you're still wearing a mask because you're not fully comfortable being yourself, and you're still practicing loving yourself. You're still practicing being who you are. And who you are, like, that changes, right? Like, the more we get to know ourselves, the more comfortable we are with ourselves. So, the more you practice being yourself and just sharing your voice, your thoughts, your opinions online, the more ease the more ease you're going to have filming videos. The more ideas are just naturally going to come to you because you're not thinking about, like, oh, I didn't say this right, oh, I left this out. Like, just letting go of perfectionism and playing and having fun. Action doesn't have to be so rigid. Action can be very playful and curious. And when we can get curious about, oh, like, what about this? Like, what about that? Oh, that didn't really go so well. Maybe what can I do differently next time? Because oftentimes we don't know what we don't know until we try it, right? And when we try something, that is when the feedback comes. So when we sit here and think about doing an event, or sit here and think about, doing XYZ, we won't actually know, like, the feedback and how we're going to grow from that until we show up and do it. So my advice to you is do something and let yourself learn from the experience. Really hold yourself with no expectation other than, I'm going to show up and give it my all. And I'm going to put my heart and soul into this because people can feel that. And allow yourself to be refined through curiosity, through playfulness, through love, through joy. And the more you continue to do that, the more you show up, you do something, you come back, you assess, you refine and redefine, the better you're going to become. Because what you're doing is you're taking out everything that doesn't work, everything that could be better, and you're making a beautiful snowball. And that is one more thing that the angels want me to say, is that find, like, one thing that you really want to focus in on. Maybe it's one or two things, right? And it could be like one overarching thing, but just channel it in 2 different areas. So, for example, I have 2 businesses. Essentially, they're under the same umbrella, but my strategy is the same. What I do within that strategy varies a little bit, but it's still the same strategy. So it doesn't require more energetic exertion from me. And I'm going to continuously show up and redefine and refine the events that I do, the workshops that I hold, so that way it can become an even deeper experience, a more curated experience. And I'm getting really, really good. I can get really, really good at putting together these events, at bringing people together and creating these unique experiences for people to interact and engage with. And the more you just continue to focus your foresight on, like, one thing, you're going to get so good at that. Because if you think about it, if we continuously distract ourselves by going from thing to thing to thing, talking about the balloons with no anchor, we are just running our energy ragged, and we're not actually creating any forward momentum. We are just doing the same thing over and over again with no roots, which is why focusing on, like, one thing, one offering for a period of time will be your best friend, having one offering in a secondary tier. And that way you have options for both people involved. And you can build this while this helps to funnel into that, if that makes sense. Because again, like if we have like 5 offerings that we want to do, if we have like all these things, one, you're gonna have to promote all of those things. So just choosing like one thing that you really want to do for right now, knowing that that's not everything that you have to do at the moment, but just letting that be your guiding light that will open up more possibilities and further expansion down the line. But leading with that one thing is going to help to channel and focus your energy so much more. So I'm going to give an example. So within the Angel Academy, I am driving my digital course. My secondary is my membership. And then with Modern Muse, my events company, I am driving my curated events. My secondary is going to be my memberships. So it's the same thing, just in a little different, avenue. But we have the digital experiences, we have the in-person experiences, and then we have the membership as the secondary tiers. So that is something for you to really sit with. And my prayer is that this all made sense, because, the life cycle of a dream, it comes from here. And a lot of us get up and hear about how do we actually bring it to life. So we sit in la la land all the time, and that was me, until I realized, wait, my dreams actually need a place to land and grow, and I need to change some things about myself to be the woman that can bring these dreams to life. I need to let go of doubt. I need to let go of imposter syndrome. And I need to let go of this idea that it has to be perfect the first go around. Like, that's not true at all. I'm totally fine with not being the best right away, because I know I will be the best, because I will never give up. So I will always succeed. So just to kind of recap everything before we go into the final messages for the day, one, abundance is more than just wealth. Abundance is a mindset that allows you to see wealth, prosperity, time differently, like wealth differently, courage differently. We are literally living and dripping with abundance. But sometimes we just don't see it because we're only looking at it through one lens. But when we can see abundance through the eyes of God, what we see is that we were always abundant, that we have an abundance of time, an abundance of energy, an abundance of miracles, blessings, courage, strength, health, wealth, that we are truly never without lack. It is only a perception of the ego, a perception of the mind that makes us think like that. Now, as the dream starts to become a real thing, once we have that healing crisis, that moment of transformation, like, I'm meant for more, I'm just going to go for it, and we're put on the path, that is really when you need to become a different person. That's actually when the universe shows you, hey, you got to pour into yourself. We really need to sit and nurture the energy of the dream, the incubation of the dream. And as you pour into yourself, as you sit with the dream and just allow the dream to wash over you and, play with the dream, that is when the doors start to open, because you are in such deep devotion with yourself. And that's all the dream has asked of you, is to be in devotion with God. And then the dream will start to lead you, because the dream is a part of you, but the dream also has its own personality. So when the dream leads you, that is when you're being asked to develop some type of framework to bring it into fruition. And that is when you look at your routines, your habits, your strategies, and decide, what is for me and what is not for me. And you're naturally starting to do that because you're changing alongside the dream, but bringing a framework into place, a routine into place that will support the energy of your dream. It's almost like the father figure of your dream, right? Your routines, your channel. And then it's taking action. taking action and showing up for yourself every day. We can develop a framework, but not stick to the framework. It's like, again, 75-day hard, was it sober October? Like, in order to change something about yourself, 30 days. So you actually need to show up for yourself. Take a step every single day. And it doesn't have to be a big step. It could be sitting down and writing with your dream. It could be filming a video today. It could be anything that you want. But as long as you stick to your framework, to your routine, regardless of how you feel that day, you show up for yourself and you sit there with the intention of just being in the energy of what it is that you want to bring into this world, miracles will occur. Your dream will come to fruition, because right there, your routines, your actions are the roadmap that are getting you from point A to point B. And they might change over time, but for a period of time, let them be the same thing, because it's going to be so much easier to show up and be like, Monday through Thursday, I write, have those strong boundaries, because yes, life might want to test you, and you just continue to stick to those, and then you reassess after like 3 months and see, wow, what has occurred in my life? Where am I right now? And this just allows you to channel your energy into one or two avenues, and you're not constantly distracted. You're not trying to bring so many things through at once, which is like idea paralysis. I mean, I've literally been there where I have just all these ideas, but no depth to them. So I don't actually feel like I'm making any forward momentum. I feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over again. And even though they're beautiful things, they're not getting me to where I want to be. So it's about letting go of all these other ideas and just sticking. You can put them down, write them in a book, return them later, but sticking to that framework, sticking to this vision and seeing this vision through. And then that is when the other ideas can come in. That's when the new offerings can come in and the expansion can take place. But focusing your energy on one framework and then maybe like one or two things, like I said, with mine, it's the events and the digital course experience, and then the membership as a secondary. So doing those two things and watching everything grow around you. It is wild what happens when you start to channel your energy and your energy isn't being dispersed out everywhere, because boom, magic will literally happen. And that is quite literally like a breakdown of how to manifest your dream life, like how to embody that dream version of you is to be, do, have. And I love that Myron Golden said it is first become the person, do the thing, and then you have it, right? But you got to be it first. So you need to pour into yourself first. Then you need to show up and do the work. And yes, that requires action. That requires maybe doing things that are uncomfortable because they're new, because they stretch you and they grow you, but they're not going to kill you. And then you have the thing that you've always wanted. So I just want to pull a card really quick, pull maybe like 2 cards with the time that we have left, 5555, as they say that. And if you have any other questions, and like I said, if you want that chapter from my book that I have written, please comment. I will send you the chapter. I'm so excited. I'm going to start talking with a publisher about actually going to print, but it's pretty much written at this point. I just have to write the intro. And then, yeah, I'm closing all the loops. And if you have any other questions about manifesting with your angels, or you're curious about the digital course that I have, it's a completely channeled course with the 4 main archangels as your mentors. And what it does is it takes you on a journey of inner transformation to help you step into your dream version of yourself. So you work with Michael with subconscious reprogramming. Raphael really helps you learn different healing techniques, self-love techniques to pour into yourself. Gabriel opens up your intuition, really helping you to ground into your psychic gifts. And then Uriel helps you embody the energy of your dream woman, of that dream version of yourself. And then I also have a bonus section if you run a business and how to apply this framework into your business. So if you're interested in that, just comment angels and I will send you the link to that course. You'll get access to a community, and you also get some messages from me as well throughout the duration. Like of the course. It's self-paced, but I still like to pop in. So let's see the final messages that, oh my God, that the angels have. Look at what popped out. Abundance. I mean, need I say more? This is such affirmation that we are so abundant with life. Like life shows us all the time how abundant we are, and also that the things that perish, the things that have ended, are really just symbols of new beginnings, and that today marks a beautiful new beginning in your life. A 18-year cycle has just concluded, and you are truly stepping into this new paradigm where your energy is heightened, where you are a manifestation king, queen, and you're allowing for yourself to be seen in these new ways. You're taking bold actions and steps because this is your life. You get to live it, and no one else has a say, because ultimately you're just tired of hearing other people's opinions and thoughts when they don't align with yours. And it's not because you're stubborn, it's just because you've listened to other people for so long that you're finally choosing yourself. So that is abundance in and of itself, is being able to hear the abundance of intuitive voice, the abundance of intuition, and the abundance of joy, of peace, of angelic guidance that is within your life. And then 2 more messages popped out. One, 2. So the last 2 messages, this card does not hit. So the last 2 messages are blessings and surrender and release. So kind of going along with all the messages that came through today. So blessings are here and are entering into your life, but we must surrender who we thought we were. We must surrender the ideas of playing small, the imposter syndrome. You are absolutely worthy and deserving. And remember, this is all just a made-up game. Like, everything outside of you is just simply a hologram of what's within you. And it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. You're here to honor your heart and be true to you. So let go of the past, let go of all the quote unquote failures in your life, let go of just everything that doesn't serve you, and really step into this new version of you. And as you do that today, as you sit with this energy of your dream life and really create the frameworks of how you want to bring this dream into your reality, this is blessings. Blessings are surrounding you, supporting you in every way, shape, and form. So I'm so grateful for everyone who showed up today and who received this message. And I'm just praying over you for this Lionsgate portal. And I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. Happy manifesting, and I will talk to you very soon.